Hey guys, I am here to tell you about some of the exciting testimonies I had at Azusa Now. If you're not familiar with Azusa, basically 110 years ago there was this cool revival that happened. It's one of the biggest in our nation, and Azusa Now was a celebration to remember the 110th anniversary and to come together it was a time for Christians to come together and pray and seek God and just share the love with the people of LA. So whenever I heard about Azusa Now, I just sensed the Lord talking to me. I just heard like 3 times Him saying in my heart, I want you there. I want you there. I want you there. So I was like, okay, well then I'm going to do what I can to get there. Even if it was me going by myself, I didn't care. I just was ready for an adventure. So I went, and there were a lot of fun adventures. And so one of the stories I want to tell, I'm going to tell probably about 5 different stories on different videos. So this one is about how I was planning on going to this outreach on Friday morning, and it was if you wanted to be a part of the outreach, you needed to go to the training, which was from 10 to 12. And so I showed up, I was a little late, things were not going very well, and I was having traffic and having problems finding the parking. And then once I got there, I couldn't even find where the event was. I finally found it, and then I started walking closer, and I was like, where is everybody? And there were about 4 people there at that point, and I said, is this the Carry the Love event for Azusa? And they said, yeah, it got canceled supposedly. I'm like, oh no. I said, well, let's just go do something anyway. You guys want to still do an outreach? And they looked at me like, oh yeah, I guess, maybe. They were all really timid and nervous. So basically, I just kind of stepped in as helping people learn about evangelism and loving on people and prophesying. And there was this one guy there that said, hey, I have a guitar in my trunk. Do you want me to bring it out? I'm like, yeah, that'd be great. So he led us in like 3 songs of worship, and we were all really experiencing God's presence. It was really fun. And so then I led everybody, at this point it was about 12 people, led them in a time of training about prophecy and what that is. And was explaining it's not just about, telling people what is in their future necessarily, but just hearing God's voice for what is God saying about them. And it's just a time of encouragement. So we were all in tears, just encouraging each other. And then there was this guy that came in named David, who he had just given his life to the Lord like 2 weeks prior, because Circuit Riders was doing an event at his school, and he let them pray over him, and he just was completely changed. He had wanted to commit suicide like 3 weeks ago, and used to be in a gang, and used to be in, I think, in prison and jail. And anyway, his life is completely transformed, and so he was jumping in with us. So basically, then we divided up into groups, and we each prayed about where God wanted us to go and who God wanted us to minister to. And so that morning I was in bed and just asked God, okay, who do you want me to minister to today? And what came to mind was a lady with blonde hair and what I call like Texas hair, like hairspray and volume. And I thought, well, I don't know if I'm going to find that in LA, but okay, Lord, if you want me to. And what do you want me to tell her? And so I felt like He said something like, just tell her to relax and that she's working too hard. She doesn't need to stress out so much. So that was something that was a clue, and we were asking for other clues in my group. And some of the other clues were, somebody saw green grass, that we were standing on green grass. And so we thought, okay, well, let's look for a park. And somebody else saw high rises, so we said, okay, well, let's look for a park downtown. And somebody else saw an intersection, so we're looking for a park downtown by an intersection, and a blonde lady. So my team went out, and we kind of just searched around, and finally we found a park and parked right there and spent $16 on parking, but it was so worth it. And we ended up at the FIDM, Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising, yes. And so anyway, so we just huddled around and just started praying right there on their campus, and we're just praying for miracles and stuff. And so then we looked up, and I saw this lady that was seated on one of the benches, and she had blonde hair. I'm like, okay, that's the first blonde we've seen in like a couple hours. And so I thought, well, maybe that's her. And then the guy that I was with, he was like, yeah, let's do it. So we went on up there, and the the other two young ladies that I was with, they were like, don't you think they're going to be a little weirded out by 4 of us approaching her? I'm like, well, maybe, but let's go try it out. So we just approached her. We just said, hey, we're here for this conference. It's a bunch of Christians getting together, and there are a bunch of people going around praying, and we just wanted to see if there's something that we could pray for you about. She said, yeah, that'd be great. And she said, I really would like to make straight A's because I've been struggling and there's a lot going on. And I thought, oh, that's just cool how it tied together. I told her about how the Lord had shown me that He wanted me to pray for somebody with blonde hair and Texas hair, just a lot of volume. And she was just feeling so loved. And I said, and now the word that He told me to tell you really ties together because He was wanting her to relax and not stress so much. And it was cool because when she turned around, I could see that her hair was teased in the back, and she had a lot of volume, so it was really cool. So she was just really blessed that that the Lord was thinking about her. Out of all the people there in LA, God was thinking about her and knew her problems, and we got to pray for her mom, pray about her mom, who she wasn't there, but she had some health issues. So it was just exciting just to love on people in LA. So I'll tell more stories next.